Hello and welcome to another edition of Questions Protestants Can't Answer. Today's question is, do we have to do the will of God in order to enter the kingdom of heaven? I'm John Martignoni, president and founder of the Bible Christian Society, and today's question comes from Matthew 7, verse 21. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. So Matthew 7:21 is telling us that he who does the will of the Father will get into the kingdom of heaven. He who does not do the will of the Father will not get into the kingdom of heaven. So this teaching, the Protestant teaching of salvation by faith alone, seems to be directly contradicted here, because we have to do the will of the Father, which is having faith and doing the works that he has set before us to do. And I can follow up with that in Ephesians 2, verses 8 through 10. And this is a verse that many Protestants throw at Catholics to say, see, works have nothing to do with our salvation, but actually they're interpreting these verses in exactly the opposite way that they should be interpreting them. Ephesians 2 verses 8 through 10. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God, not because of works, lest any man should boast. Not because of works, people say, lest any man should boast. Catholics don't believe we're saved by works. We are saved by God's grace alone, but our response to that grace, to God's free gift of his grace, must be a response not just of faith alone, but of faith and works. So our works don't save us, but through our faith, through our works, we keep our salvation, all by the grace of God. Verse 10 of Ephesians 2, which many folks seem to forget, is in there. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. We should walk in these good works that God has prepared for us beforehand. So God's will for our lives is to do these works that he's prepared for us. And as it said in Matthew 7:21, he who does the will of the Father will enter the kingdom of heaven. So doing these good works is part of the process of salvation. We have to do these good works that God has prepared for us. And for each individual, that's different works, different amount of works, different quality of works, etc., etc. But we have to do whatever God has prepared for us, because it's his will for our lives that we do these works, or we don't get into heaven. So faith and works by the grace of God. So again, the question for today is, do we have to do the will of God in order to enter the kingdom of heaven? Think about it. Pray about it. That's it for now, but be sure to check out all of the free apologetics materials, CDs, MP3 downloads, apologetics newsletters, all free at BibleChristianSociety.com. BibleChristianSociety.com.